Hey everyone, and welcome to the candidate interviews for the .NET Foundation board member elections. I'm Sara Chips, and I'll be here interviewing several of the candidates. We'll get started because I know we're starting a little late. So I'm going to welcome the first candidate that I'm interviewing this evening, Rodrigo.
Hi, Sara.
Hi, Rodrigo. How's it going?
It's going great. How about you?
Good, good. I see that you're an MVP.
I
Um,
am. I am since 12 years ago. I have been in the program. Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Congrats on your running for election. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
it's a great position. I've been doing it for the past year. So,
Yeah, I know. I
um,
know. I was a candidate last year. However, I didn't win.
yeah,
And of course, it's a role that has a lot of action, right? And a lot of responsibility. So,
it does. It does. I'm glad you're running again. I watched a video recently with a former Miss USA, and she said she ran 5 times before she was picked. So this is your second time. Great.
that's a relief. That's a relief. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So let's get started. I
Sure.
my first question for you is, why are you running for this role?
Yeah, Sarah. I've been using .NET since 2001, and my entire career is based on .NET. So I owe .NET a lot, and I'm running because I care about .NET, and I want to change over and strengthen the perception that people has about .NET, because it's not the first choice for technology businesses and governments and students. They don't use .NET nowadays, so that's why I care, and I'm running for this position. So, yeah.
That's great. Uh, I also have been doing .NET since 2001. It's been a really long time.
It is, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
So
that's great. What's your background with the .NET Foundation?
well, mostly as a final user for some of the open source projects available and sponsored by the foundation. On the other hand, as I said, I ran as a candidate last year. So, yeah, I don't have any open source projects. I do have some open source projects related with some training courses that I record for LinkedIn Learning in both Spanish
Cool.
language and English language. However, I didn't have the opportunity yet uh, to contribute to some of the projects available. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have a LinkedIn Learning subscription until the end of the month, so I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So I think that segues into our next question well, because you've already started talking about them. But can you talk a little more about your contributions to the .NET community?
Yeah. Well, I've been contributing to the community mostly through live events at Microsoft and non-Microsoft events in USA and Latin America and Europe as well. And as I said, I have also been recording a lot of training courses related to .NET technologies for LinkedIn Learning in both the Spanish language and English language as well. And furthermore, I have a weekly podcast related with .NET. It's a weekly podcast about software architecture, software development, new technologies, everything related to .NET. So um, yesterday I published the 148th episode.
Wow.
So yeah, more than 3 years. I have been doing this podcast. So yeah, you can listen to that one in Spotify and Apple Podcast as well. Yeah.
That's great. What is your podcast called for the people that
The
are
name of the
watching?
podcast is Interfaz, which is the Spanish language name for interface.
Hmm.
You can say interfaz in Spanish and it's an interface, right? So, yeah, Interfaz Podcast. That's the name, and you can search for it in Spotify and Apple Podcast as well. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
What experience do you have that lends itself for you to be on the board?
Yeah, I'm in the board of directors of my own company, so of course that doesn't count. And I think, Sarah, that this role needs strong technical leadership, of course. However, I think that the role needs empathy as well as understanding of social dynamics. So I know how to play well with others through empathy and understanding of those social dynamics. I've been traveling around Latin America for over a decade, and I understand all the struggles and all the idiosyncrasies that people has, for .NET and around .NET and Microsoft since more than 10 years ago. So I know the struggles, and I want to change that. I want to help Microsoft and the .NET Foundation to make over and just to start from by using some fresh eyes, right? So
that makes sense. You
yeah.
said you were on the board of your own company?
That's right. That's right. My company is a telemedicine solutions company based in Mexico, and we do healthcare solutions by using .NET and Microsoft technologies. And of course, that doesn't count itself as a requirement for the board of directors of the .NET Foundation. However, I know how things work inside an organization, and I want to help the .NET team and Microsoft to make .NET the best product ever.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are some challenges you run into on the board of your company that you think might translate to the .NET Foundation board?
Yeah, for example, this happened 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I sent a request for proposal document for a government institution that wanted this kind of solution, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they rejected the proposal because we weren't using open source technologies, which is funny because the proposal included .NET Core and all the open source technologies around. Yeah, so it's very sad, and it's very, it's quite challenging for us technologists that we want to do projects and solutions based on .NET, and government institutions and businesses, they don't have this they have this wrong perception.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's I think it's the main challenge that I face nowadays. Yeah.
Wow. And .NET started open sourcing almost 10 years ago.
That's right. I know, right? So what's going on? It's not the same Microsoft since Satya Nadella, and it's not your old father's Microsoft, right? Is that the way that you say it in English? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a new Microsoft. There's a lot of things going on. The .NET team has been doing a great job for the technology and the platform, and us MVPs and regional directors are crazy about it. And it's so sad that we have to face those kind of things, right?
Yeah. How do you think that the .NET Foundation can approach that? What are some things you think that would be great?
Yeah, maybe, we have to go to the roots. We have to go to the origin of those idiosyncrasies. And I think the .NET Foundation has to invest a lot in education and universities, and go back to the roots, and make students use the technology. And of course, not only students, but also professors and teachers. because they are the ones that are saying to the students, hey, please use Java, please use PHP. Those are open source technologies. And .NET is an open source technology as well. So yeah, I think the .NET Foundation can invest a lot in education and, just a way to improve and marketing around .NET, right?
Yeah, that's great. But
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
Okay, final question.
Okay.
If you could choose between the superpower of being invisible or flying, which would you pick?
Invisibility or flying? Well, that's a tough one. Okay, I would go to invisibility.
Okay, and
Because
why?
yeah, I remember the Fantastic Four. You remember that one? And I was a fan when I was a child of the Invisible Woman. So yeah, I think invisibility can get you anywhere. It will be awesome.
That's great. Well,
Yeah,
thanks so much and good luck. Good luck
yeah.
over the
Thank you for
election
having me.
period. It was great talking to you and
Thank you.
hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, next.